And one would say, based on the activities that we see, the news that we see, Rwanda could be actually punching above its weight. I wanted to find out, could you give us maybe some context to the startup scene right now? What does that look like in Rwanda, and how do you see it evolving?
I am from Rwanda, so I love Rwanda. So it's as you said, it's an interesting country. 14 million people, and in terms of area, it's if not one of the smallest on the continent. But then maybe to give you some sort of macro perspective, it is in line with what we see on the continent. Very young population. The average age of a Rwandan is 20, right? So which really shows not only Rwanda, but at a continental level, the promise that we see. You always see these metrics that by 2050, 25% of the workforce will be from Africa, even more, 40% by the turn of the century. And really, Rwanda is not exempt from that reality. We are definitely living in it. Being a small market, a small country, landlocked country, of course, there are few measures that we had to put in place, let's say, over the last few years to really stand out and really build a resilient economy, right? Maybe to start with the easiest one, ease of doing business, right? Make it easy for investors to come. Basically, you can register your business in 6 hours, automatically, and you're good to go, right? You can come to Rwanda visa free. Almost everybody can come to Rwanda visa free. The regulatory environment that makes it easy already to do business in Rwanda. But where it becomes interesting is, okay, yes, you make it easy, but since a small market, if I want to grow, what is the opportunity here? That's where, for instance, the openness to the broader East African region comes in handy. Of the 4 blocks on the continent, the East Africa is integrating in a very exciting way. So really, if you come to Rwanda, you actually, in principle, getting access to a much wider market. So that becomes even more attractive. Okay. But then you say, okay, because some of the things we see is a Kenyan innovator has a health tech idea, but to get a license and start operating to really test the prototype. For instance, Rwanda has made it easier for this kind of opportunity, basically positioning ourselves as a proof of concept market, right? So we see all these East Africans coming to Rwanda, starting their businesses, really learning the market, and then after that, they could scale on the regional level. If you create a good, conducive environment, you could leverage on the strengths that you have to really enable this economic activity to happen. Perhaps another example that is famous would be Zipline. Zipline essentially delivers blood using drones. Basically came in Rwanda some 10 years ago. Drones were not popular yet as they are now. But then how do you build a policy framework? How do you work with security authorities to really find a way to navigate? And now they are deploying this in multiple markets on a commercial level, which is really exciting. So we like to give some of these concrete examples of what is really possible if you set up the right environment and basically to enable investors to come, but also this startup to thrive. But again, this is just the beginning. We are we're far ahead from where we would like to be. I'm saying we as a Rwandan because our ambitions are much bigger. So, indeed, continue doing things block by block. That is how we get there ultimately.
Yeah. Those are great examples. So would that maybe be the approach or model for scale for the other seemingly smaller countries?
Absolutely. gets really exciting quickly. Please catch me if I get carried away. um, indeed, regional integration is one of the best opportunities that we have to indeed, develop as a continent. But again, it's not as easy as integrate, push a button and it goes. What I'm really, really excited about, I've been seeing all these initiatives that are saying, hey, but let's look inwards. We can find African solutions to actually deliver this integration that we want, right? You're talking about the free trade, African free trade area that was signed. I think now majority of the countries have ratified it. Okay, let's see. I would like to see more trade becoming easier. I've been seeing a movement, for instance, of more countries, becoming visa-free to Africans, which is really a big blocker. Because if you're talent, if you have capital, if you cannot move around, you're actually stuck. So we would love to see more of that. I know there's a lot of complexity in the background, but at least I can see the youth and the momentum really building up towards that. I was reading the other day about, I think it's called PAPS, basically an African equivalent to SWIFT. Doing quick research on, okay, how does it actually simplify transactions, save us money, etc., etc. More of this. At least maybe it's because the older I get, the more interest I get into this kind of things. But I'm really seeing a lot of these initiatives emerge to integrate the continent, and that is the way to go. But also mindful that, again, we still have a lot of work to do. You need to get the infrastructure right. You need to really, really get other things, the priorities in place, right? But at least what I'm saying is the hope and the vibe that at least a lot of things now are falling into place. This is a time now really to capitalize on this integration. But then freedom of movement is one thing. Taxation, it's much broader than that. At least to what I know, what I'm saying is indeed this momentum that this is our only way to unlock the full potential, regional integration, and even more, more trade with each other.